Hello and welcome back to the 500 Workshop. Today we're going to be doing one of our key servicing items, and it's greasing the kingpins. It's something you should do every 3,000 miles, but also probably every year. Steering is really important to make sure your car's in good condition, and replacing the kingpins can be an expensive and time-consuming job. So we're going to show you how to grease them to make sure they're in optimum condition all the time. Let's do it. So we're going to be working on our 500F today. On the kingpins, and the first job I'm going to do is to remove this wheel so that it makes it easier for us to see what we're doing, especially when we're filming and on camera. So we're going to take a 17 mil socket with our ratchet, and first of all remove our hubcap, and there we go. Put that to one side. Now we've got four 17 mil bolts on here. I like to use a breaker bar for this. Just probably could use the ratchet, but just nicer to use a breaker bar. Easier. Just break the tension. Don't take the wheel all the way off at this point. Just looking to. You see, that's why we need a breaker bar. That one was pretty stiff. That one there. And last one. So next job is to jack this wheel up. So I'm going to actually jack it up from the front and put some axle stands under, just so I can do the steering as well while it's off the ground. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. So as in previous videos, we've told you how to jack up the car. We've done that from the front. We've got our axle stands in place. It's solid on the stands. So we can carry on now taking off our wheel. Because we've already loosened the wheel when it's on the ground, we can go back to our ratchet and just take our bolts off. I like to loosen them all. Keep loosening them a bit first before you take the whole wheel off. Otherwise you get a nasty drop towards the end. Oh, that one's still a bit stiff. So this one was a bit difficult to get out, but looking at the bolt, there's no damage on it. Just must have been a little bit stiff in the hole. So we can just drop our wheel off, and here we can see our brake hub. And what I'm going to do next is just get in the car and turn the wheel so we can angle the steering slightly away and then get a good look at the kingpin. So we've moved the angle of our wheel as much as we can, which allows us to come in here. I'll try and do as steady a shot as I can. This here is our kingpin. So bolted in at the top there, and our suspension sits on top of that. And this is the kingpin is part of our steering mechanism, so as we turn the wheel, the piece inside of here allows us to turn the wheel hub. And just here, with all that grease on there, is the nipple, the grease nipple, which we are going to need to pump grease into to make sure our kingpin is well greased. So we're going to get the grease gun next and attach it up. So I've tried to set this up so we can see the grease nipple still. Here's my grease gun. This is an attachment that I bought, which makes it really easy to clip onto the nipples. Found it online, one of those lovely online adverts you get, and thought I'll have one of those. So all we need to do is open it up, push it on, let go, and that's now nice and secure. And now we can pump grease. So we're just going to slowly pump grease. It seems to be coming out everywhere apart from the actual kingpin at the moment. Oh, that's good sound. I can hear it. And I can just start, I don't know if you can see at the top here, just start to see the grease coming through now. And that's what you want to see. You want to make sure the grease is coming through. Just going to take that off. So you can see grease oozing at the top here and out of here, which means it's packed full of grease now, and that's job done. Just because it did leak grease at the front, even with that great clip, I'm just gonna take the excess off the nipple. It really doesn't need all that around there. Put it up a little bit. Lots of old grease around here as well. That's good. Pumped the grease into that nipple, and that's all good. Ready to put the wheel back on. So we've straightened up the wheel again. Straightened up the hub. Ready to put the wheel back on. If you haven't put a wheel on before, you'll notice there's a tiny pin on the brake hub, and that locates against a small hole in the wheel itself. So I need to try and line that up. I find it useful to just put my foot under it, and then we're going to just hand tighten the bolts. There's one. I like to do it opposite sides. That's to go on better. And we do. These bolts should all have spring washers. Spring washer helps retain the bolt on the wheel. Oh, it's a bit stiff, so leave that one there. Just going to take the ratchet and just nip them up a bit. You don't have to do them up too tight at this stage. You're not on the ground, and you want to be for the final tightening. There we go. So now we can jack the car back up and take out the axle stands and lower it back down onto the ground. So the wheel's back on the ground. Now we need to tighten up our bolts, and to do that we use our torque wrench. The torque settings for the wheel nuts, wheel bolts are 32.5 to 40 Newton meters. I've put this one at 35, and we're just going to go round and tighten up each of the bolts. until we get a nice firm click. There we go. I like to do them again in hexagonal order. There we go for that one. This one's a bit looser. Not quite even close. Here we go. There we go. Nice click. And the last one. There we go. So that wheel's nicely secured on now at the correct torque setting. Going to switch back to our ratchet and put our wheel hub back on. So the wheel hub doesn't have any torque setting specifically. You just want to, if you do it too tight, I have bent them before slightly, so just want to make sure it's nice and tight, doesn't spin anymore, and that's good, shouldn't come off. And that's how you grease the Kingpins on a 500. So next job is to do the other side.